Alright, what is going on, my dudes? Welcome back to another episode of Mike Forgot when the embargo for the new champion is, so he's rushing to get this video done less than 15 minutes before 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So let's see if we can get through this pretty quick. As always, we've highlighted every single thing that we need to know. Kraven is the new champ coming to the game in December. Pretty excited. He looks freaking awesome. I feel like I have to get another cosplay stream going on because I am digging this dude and the potential for that. So, let's dive right in today. Kraven, skill, Sergey Nikolaevich Kravenov was once known as the world's greatest hunter, often killing his prey with his bare hands. Despite his success, he grew bored with hunting big game, so he decided to hunt for more dangerous and powerful prey. He chose to hunt Spider-Man, someone he saw as a real challenge worthy of his skills. However, his constant failure to defeat Spider-Man led him into a path of villainy and insanity. Fair enough. Okay. So, Kraven's mechanics are really freaking cool, man. I'm very excited for this guy. So, Kraven's playstyle is all about trapping the opponent and then punishing them. He places a trap with a special one, and it stays in the arena until it triggers or it is replaced. Pushing an unprepared opponent into a trap is even more beneficial for Kraven than just allowing the opponent into the trap, but once the opponent is trapped, Kraven's attacks and effects are even more deadly. Kraven is not your average champion. This is a high skill use champ, and to get the best out of him, you're going to have to change your playstyle and max out those synergies and masteries. I like it. So, Kraven, abilities. Alright? Jungle Fighter. Heavy attack. The first hit inflicts a non-stacking disorient, decreasing block efficiency and defensive ability accuracy by 40%. That's really good. There are a few nodes that you kind of want disorient on the opponent right away, so this is a very easy to access disorient, which is really nice. Critical hits inflict a bleed debuff, dealing 557 direct damage over 8 seconds. When debuffed, Endurance passive. Each time Kraven receives a non-damaging debuff, reduce the duration of future non-damaging debuffs by 10% for the rest of the fight. Max 8 stacks. This is going to be potentially useful on offense in certain situations. Like, for example, there's that node that makes you glance, right? Every time you do, like, less than a 5-hit combo. So if you just purposely do less than a 5-hit combo 8 times in a row, that node is eventually going to be turned off. That's kind of nice, but that's going to be really annoying on defense, of course. So you're going to want to, like, have the white mags pre-fight when you fight this guy. Trap, special one. If the opponent moves into a trap, it springs and deals a burst of 1,743 direct damage and roots them for 5 seconds. Damage scales with base attack only. If the opponent moves into the trap during a special, the trap is removed. If the opponent is pushed into the trap by a heavy or special 2, Kraven has a 100% chance to place a new trap when the root expires. Alright? Rooted champs cannot move but can still attack, block, and dodge. Activating a special attack removes root and prevents it from applying. While the opponent is rooted, Kraven's dash attacks become unstoppable. His damage over time debuffs are paused and he gains 1400 critical rating. While the opponent is rooted, their combat power rate is reduced by 37.5%. Dev note. Once the opponent is trapped, the best way to initiate an attack is with the dash. Since Kraven will go unstoppable, a skilled player only needs to launch a trap once. As long as they are pushing the opponent into the traps, they will keep triggering. Pretty cool, man. So, more abilities. Suppression Crossfight. Traps also inflict a crossfight suppression passive on the opponent, reducing combat power rate by 6.25% for this and the next 5 fights, max 2 stacks. Traps cannot suppress opponents with natural class advantage, fair enough. In the following fights, suppression potency is increased by 100%. When the opponent is trapped while suffering with 2 stacks of suppression, their combat power rate is reduced by a total of 50%. That's a lot. This allows Kraven to attack rooted opponents without worrying too much about them reaching 3 bars of power. Root debuff and precision are paused during special attacks. Developers note, it's always a good idea to throw a special attack on a rooted opponent because it will increase the duration of the root, consequently increasing the duration that bleeds are paused by the root. So let's talk about the actual special one here. Kraven sets a trap at the opponent's location. The trap arms after 5 seconds and lasts until triggered. New traps replace existing ones. As a defender, traps replace his location and arm immediately. Traps are not affected by ability accuracy reduction. If the opponent is already rooted by a trap, critical damage rating is increased by 182 for the duration of this attack instead. Bleed effects are paused, and you gain a non-stacking true accuracy buff, ignoring all evade and auto block for 20 seconds. Now, when you trigger a trap, that refreshes that passive, which is really good. So he's pretty much going to have true accuracy for the majority of the fight, which is really good. So the special one's main purpose is to place a trap. The trap can be triggered outside special one, and true accuracy can be refreshed. If the player is able to always re-trigger the trap with the push, there isn't much need to launch the special again. I like it. One and done on the special one. Special 2, Dirty Tricks. On activation, gain a precision buff, increasing crit rating by 1081 for 20 seconds. Triggering a trap refreshes this effect. Max stack 5. The first hit is unblockable and inflicts a poison debuff, reducing health recovery by 30% and dealing 23-24 direct damage over 3 seconds. If the opponent is rooted, refresh all bleed debuffs. The best way to trigger a trap is by pushing the opponent into a trap with a special 1. You get to refresh all your bleeds, increase the poison duration by up to 5 seconds, and refresh the precision buff. If done correctly, Kraven can stack a lot of bleeds and the opponent and precisions on himself. Pretty cool. Now, this has special 2, it obviously means special 3. You gain a cruelty buff, increasing crit damage rating by 233 until Kraven is knocked down. If the opponent is rooted, they gain no power, and this potency of the cruelty buff is increased by 100%. If the opponent is not rooted but a trap is placed, even if not armed, the trap springs regardless of the opponent's position. In general, Kraven won't be chasing special 3 since he is better off triggering his trap immediately, but in long fights, the special 3 offers a way to boost his bleed damage. Alright, man, so it's really looking like what you want to do is go for the special 1 right away, place that trap, and then push them into the trap with a heavy attack or a special 2 for the rest of the fight. Really cool, man. It's looking like maybe you want to like kind of use the special 1 while the opponent is like in their own corner, so you can always just like push them back with a heavy attack into the corner. Then they're rooted, and look at this, with this sig ability your dash attacks become unblockable, man, which is crazy. While the opponent is rooted, all bleeds are critical bleeds, multiplying their potency by 200% of Kraven's crit damage. The trample passives guaranteed that Kraven can always break the defense of a trapped opponent, but the real power of this ability is the substantial boost in damage he gets from crit bleeds. Yeah, for sure. So Synergies, he has some really good ones here. Let's just kind of go through them quickly here. With Spider-Man, Classic, and Symbiote, he gets an immortality buff when he would be knocked out, so that's always really good. Spider-Man Classic and Symbiote, their arm break debuffs are paused during specials, and their duration is increased by 7 seconds each. With Tigra, really good synergy for both. On a critical hit, inflict a fragility debuff for 5 seconds. That's really good. Increases your critical damage rating, and reduces their block proficiency. Combine that with the Disorient, that's a 55% reduced block proficiency, not bad. Tigra, while the opponent is neutralized, Tigra gains 1500 critical rating. The opponent is always neutralized when you're hitting them, so that's really good for her. Just probably gonna make her crit a lot more. Big game with Sassy, Beast, and Dragon Man. Stunning a stun immune champion will instead inflict a non-stacking concussion debuff, reducing ability accuracy by 60%. Could be potentially useful. Over here, these are all really good. Kraven's true accuracy ignores the effects of miss. That's awesome, man. So if you put him with Venom Pool or Agent Venom, he's going to be countering miss, auto block, and evasion the entire fight. That's really good. Venom Pool. When fighting bleed immune champs, when inflicting bleeds, inflict a matching degen instead. That's really good for Venom Pool. Agent Venom. On critical hits or when the opponent fails to evade, inflict a bleed debuff, dealing 50% of attack and direct damage over 4 seconds. That's potentially really good. We'll have to see. Fun Adventures, unique with Squirrel Girl, Kraven. Bleed immune champs are inflicted by a poison debuff instead, reducing health by 30% and dealing 17% in direct damage over 10 seconds. Poisons, pauses, and refreshes just as bleed. That's really good for him. Squirrel Girl. When the opponent is afflicted with an injury debuff, Squirrel Girl has 50% chance to gain a precision buff, increasing crit rating by 1500, and 50% chance to gain a cruelty buff, increasing critical damage rating by 700. Both effects last for 10 seconds. That's really good for Squirrel Girl. Gonna make her crit more and crit harder. I like it. So enemies with Doc Ock, Electro, Green Goblin, Rhino, and Vulture. All those champions have combat power rate increased by 25%. That's actually really good. Gonna be really, really amazing for both Vulture and Dr. Octopus, who are 2 good champions. Green Goblin, Electro, and Rhino, they need some love, no doubt about it. But if they get some, love to their kit, 25% increased power rate is going to be good. So yeah, man. This guy is looking pretty good. Strengths and weaknesses down here. Root. Kraven can root the opponent. Really cool. True accuracy, obviously really good. Bleeds, obviously really good bleeds. Weaknesses. Opponents that cover a long distance with their special. The only way to disarm Kraven's trap is by crossing over it with a special attack. So opponents like Venom or Tigra that move long distances during their special attacks have an advantage over Kraven. And of course, bleed immunity, but you kind of have that synergy to help out with that one. So yeah, guys, Kraven is looking quite cool, if you ask me. I definitely like him a lot. Excited to test him out. I like the way the root mechanic is kind of working. It looks like it's not going to be too annoying to deal with. Also going to be fun on offense. But yeah, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed it, drop your boy a big old like. Comment what you think about Kraven in the comment section below. And hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any Kraven gameplay coming to you probably sometime this week. I'll be seeing you around.